We're seeing the PBOC now providing this low-cost funding through so-called pledged supplemental lending. When have we seen China use this sort of policy, and how does it differ from the past?
Yeah, I mean, if the policy is confirmed and implemented, it will represent the latest effort by the Chinese government to arrest the slump, housing slump. The program known as PSL, Pledged Supplemental Lending, was first used in between 2014 and 2019 to help boost demand for housing, and the program was successful. Prices rally, demand surge, but at the same time a bubble was formed. Prices rose double digit in many cities around China. So this time, however, the program we heard is going to be about 1 trillion yuan. So in terms of scale, it's much smaller than the previous round. And we also heard from sources that this time around it will be more targeted. It will be mainly aimed at bigger cities, which will account for only 1/5 of China's housing sales. So in terms of impact on the housing market, it'll be much smaller. I mean, again, it's called quantitative easing because it's central bank lend money through the facility to policy banks, and that will result in expansion of central bank's balance sheet and money printing.
Right, QE PBOC style. Does that indicate a fundamental shift when it comes to how they're approaching housing policy? What's the long-term outlook then?
I think the China's policymakers have made the policy made it loud and clear that the long-term plan is to gradually shift the economy's reliance on investment and exports, gradually to consumption. So currently, the housing market, is playing a too big a role in the economy. 70-80% of China's wealth, Chinese household wealth, is tied to housing, which is unreasonable, unhealthy. And too much money have been used to repay mortgages, and that's not bode well for long-term consumption. And so the long-term strategy again is to shift to consumption and shrink the role of property in the economy. So don't think the government is keen to see another round of speculative frenzy.